Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the Cromwell Derp. Now this is a tank you're probably going to see a bit more on the channel again, like the Crusader, because I did 3 mock it on the stream and I did have a couple of good games in it. So there's probably at least another 2 more videos to come after this, and with one of the third mock video being one of them. But this is not that one. So the Cromwell Derp, hell of a lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing this. It was pretty damn fun, to be honest. I preferred the Cromwell like this than I did with the 75mm or 76, whichever one it is that the Cromwell gets. I don't know why. I really just didn't like the top gun that you get on this tank. It's one of those that says it's more accurate than it is, doesn't often hit that much, and aims for a very long time to miss quite a lot. And I mean, this has the same aim time, right? This has worse accuracy. But the thing is, it's a derp gun, so you know it's going to miss. But it can pull off memes, right? It can be a proper little memer. You can loop shells over ridge lines, you can wreck things if you're quite close to it. I mean, that Oni we're not really going to do much to with the derp gun. But the one thing it does have as well is heat rounds with like 110 pen, and they can be nasty at tier 6. There's a lot that you wouldn't think it, there's a lot that you can wreck with the heat at this level. And it can really rack up damage really quickly if you're getting good RNG, good luck with some of the shells, and if you're playing it quite aggressively in front of people's faces. I mean, it tends to be the way that I play it. I play it more like a scout tank than I do a medium. So I mean, like right now on Scorpion Pass, we're playing like a medium. We're playing like a sniper, which is not what this derp gun really wants to do, because it will miss a lot. I mean, the shell velocity is awful. As you're seeing, it's like pop, boop, and there you go. You just watch the shell fly in the air, like, wee, boop. There you go, boop, boop, boop. That's what this derp gun does, and it's really funny, to be honest. It's one of those tanks, and I tried the Crusader with the 3-inch howitzer as well, and that has worse shell velocity, and it's even funnier to watch the shell fly. It just memes, especially if you hit, like, say if I'd hit that Hummel there with the auto aim fire on the move, that would have been hilarious. And it's stuff like that made it fun, you know. I just enjoyed doing it. I didn't enjoy doing it on my main when I did it with the 75. I don't know why I just didn't do it with the derp gun. Because look at this, 2-2-1. We've got the heat rounds in, and we've got his butt, so we're gonna pen it, and the side of his turret. Unfortunately, we didn't quite get there. But now we're going to go charge in front of this Oni in the Tiger P. There is one thing, and that is the fact that this tank seems to, well, because it's a howitzer, and its reload's not too bad as well. It's got a 5.54 reload, as you see in there, which is pretty good. You don't quite have the shells. You do run out at times. 172 luck with HE into that guy's cupola. I know we're point blank, so it makes the shells even more lucky. Obviously, we bounced him a second ago, which is fortunate. But we've got derp guns, so we can track him up like we have done there. He's given up. 63. Couldn't have just given me one more, could it? And we're going to pen this Oni in his side with heat. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, he can't hit me here. We get unlucky with the fact that... See, that's the thing with the heat rounds, right? If you're going for something like an OI or an Oni, right, OI in particular, you can hug the side, it won't be able to get its gun down, and you can pen it probably 7 out of 10 times with the heat. You have enough pen for the side, same as the Oni, but the thing is it's spaced armour, so the heat will just get absorbed. It's like you could try and shoot an Oni or an Oho or something like that in the side of the Jagdpanzer heat shell. Obviously I know the Oni won't see a Jagdpanzer, but for instance it did. And the Jagdpanzer heat shell with its 400 odd pen would probably get absorbed 2 out of 10 times, 3 out of 10 times maybe. So it doesn't matter the fact it's got 400 heat pen, it will just hit the spaced armor and just go, nah, that's it, I'm done, not penning that. And that's the problem with heat, which is why I'm never a fan of it generally, but it can be quite nice. That's why if you see it and people that's why you see people who load full gold on lots of tank setups don't load full gold when it's exclusively heat, because the heat will screw them over more sometimes in the lower pen of the AP or APCR that you get, and it's just, it can be very unreliable, the heat. So as you see there with pen the Excalibur, we were aiming for that, we just didn't quite get it until that final shot, 278 into that Excalibur. It actually surprised me that it's about 380 something, I think it's like 380 average if you pen with the HE, which is just gnarly. There are so many lightly armoured tanks which you really can hurt by firing that HE as well and penning them. It's just great. So we're going to YOLO this VKD because I was pretty confident I might be able to pen this guy with the heat. And unfortunately that one hit the floor in front of him. We're reloading again. We're seeing if we can hit it. I probably should have been firing HE here, because it's a doubt. But then I only have 2 HE rounds, so it's questionable. Because obviously if we get the heavy tank that's left, I'm not going to really be able to pen that with the heat rounds. So we try and hit him again, but the way he's moving, the velocity is too slow for that, and he manages to finish me off, unfortunately. But luckily enough, we managed to cap, and we finish the game there with the Ace Tanker, Confederate, Scout Medal, 2k damage, 1.9k assistance, and generally a nice game in a Mimi tank. So here we are now in the next game, and we're on South Coast, or whatever the mercenary variant of the map is called. And it's Encounter, so it can be a weird one, this map, because teams do generally tend to do what my team's doing now, and the enemy team will do the same. So the enemy team will go down the A line, and my team pushes straight up the 1-2. And then they meet somewhere down in the middle. Now, obviously, a strat that you can always do from this map, if you're at the enemy spawn, is just run down the 9-0 and get behind us lot. Because artillery does spawn where they are now in K7, and a lot of the time the artillery doesn't move. So you can just get a free Pascuccius sometimes just by going down the 9 line and zooming around. And even if you don't go down the K line, once you get to the bottom of the 9, you can also come up to this position here where I'm at now. And if you come up round there, you can get shots at the guys. You can get shots at these guys in the butt. Like, I've got shots at this T50 now, but I can see most of my team from here. So if they get lit up, you get nice shots across. So it's a good thing to do. Is if you get this map with Encounter, it's not always a good thing just to rush down towards the cap. I mean, it's never a good thing anyway, but that's giving up control of different areas of the map, and unfortunately that can lead to very little opportunity to do anything. So we get a nice shot there at the T50, who is a bit of a problem again, because this tank is not one for shooting. I'll say this tank. This gun is not one for shooting people that are on the move, because it's not the best at it. But if you get closer like that T50 did, it can be alright, because obviously shell velocity counts less over that distance. So we're just going to try and get back up to this position, but it's not quite letting me physics, and I've decided, you know what, physics ain't letting me, I'm just going to give up with it. Try and pop a Mimi shot at the Chaffee, doesn't quite work. And we're just going to move off to get up towards their sniper. We've got a lot of people, right, at FE23. So there's a lot of them there. So if I spot up these guys, like this Stirrer Mill is up here, like there's always going to be people up here. If I spot them up, maybe I'm going to get assistance, get spotting damage. So that's why I pushed for this position, because if I pushed for this position, I can spot. So there we go. We've spotted, what, 3 people then, as well as the Stirrer Mill. We light them up, and we could get assistance damage from my team. Now this captured KV-1 is not having any of my shenanigans, and we've just got to try and turn this boat around. We've loaded heat rounds, pen him in the ass, because that is going to be my way of killing him faster. Now unfortunately he does get a shot into us again there, but and we miss ours as we come over because Cromwell has no gun depression over the ass, like a lot of British tanks. So you do struggle in that way. We try and pop a shot at the KV-85, but unfortunately it hits the destructible pillar in front of us because heat. And then we go around this capture KV-1 again, and we pen him in the front with the heat because we can, KV-1s. And we've got to wait till we get back around his front again, and we shut him down. It's a very dangerous tank for us to get YOLO by, because it's got incredible DPM, but it's got terrible turret traverse like a lot of heavies. So you can outdo its traverse. Now we pen that Absolution then as well. 270 was a nice roll. Juicy pen. Not always going to happen on an Absolution because just it's bullcrap armour. And again, we're in a good position. We can see these guys. We can get good shots at them. Like that Firefly, the reason I'm loading the heat is if I get the butt of this ISM, or IS-2M, I can pen it with the heat, same as the back of the turret. But unfortunately we miss it, and I know that if I go for my next target, which would be the Firefly, I can pen that with the heat too. So that's why we've loaded it. Unfortunately, he pulls back just as the shell reaches him, breaks his gun, sod's law. And again, he pulls back just as I fire, so the shell just whiffs him again. And this is where the shell velocity is letting us down. We lead it behind him, 290 heat pen, there we go. Which is exactly what we want, but we're out of heat now, so we've only got HE. We're seeing if we can get a bit of a higher angle at these guys, but unfortunately we're not quite getting it. It's not looking all that good at the minute. But I've decided, you know what, I'm going to go for the RT. So here's the M44 and the SU-14-2. The SU-14-2 was looking at us. I decided, okay, I've got to shut that guy down first. But they're both fired, they both missed. We track the M44 and we're just going to go for that Pascucci's medal. Unfortunately enough for us, we shut him down. We get the juicy Pascucci's, as always. Now that little push towards the hill didn't work. We didn't get assistance. But it can work, you can get a good amount of assistance. And unfortunately for us, the last artillery, the Dimitrius was on, but artillery is fair and balanced, and he shotgun, well, he shuts us down over the rock, unfortunately for us. So we don't get the Dimitrius. But 2.1k damage, only 2.2, 454 assistance, ace tanker, Pascucci's medal, and again another decent game for the Cromwell Derp. And I mean, it's just a meme tank. I love doing it. It was another great throwback tank to go play again on Derp Diggler. I love playing all these types of tanks again and having a reason to play them. So as always, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the derping. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.